All right, so I did a review on the Sofabaton XS1 remote. This thing right here is just a beast of a remote. It can control so many different devices across so many different brands. I believe it's something like 5,000 different brands and 600,000 different devices it can control. But it's also pretty intuitive on learning. So learning curve can be a little difficult for some people. So what we have today is the Sofabaton U2. We're going to unbox this right here and we're going to see how easy this one is compared to this one. All right, so on the side, we got a couple of QR codes so you can go ahead and download their app. Supports up to 15 devices, complete IR code on the cloud, advanced OLED display, custom macro key, custom remote buttons, mobile app. So let's go ahead and get it opened up. Greeted with a manual, you get the controller itself, and you get some brand new batteries. There's the remote right there. Very light, feels pretty good in the hand. Like the little scroll wheel. There is a little display up here that will come on. One thing from the XS1 is there's no IR receiver that you got to install and put behind your TV and all that. This one right here should be, you program it, you point, you go, you're done. Okay, so I just put the batteries in, and the first thing it says is connect to the app. So you got to connect to the app before you can do anything, just as well as with the XS1. You got to have the app in order to do anything with these, because that's where you're going to be programming all your remotes to, or your devices to the remote, is through the app. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Sofabaton app, and now it's going to ask me to select which one. We're going to do the U series. So it says, please select the remote that you want to connect. We're going to go ahead and we're going to connect. And then it's saying push at the same time the bottom buttons, the minus and the E. So I am holding that down. Okay, and then it says hit add. All right, so the next step says to connect either IR or Bluetooth. So I do have a Vizio soundbar in front of me. I am going to try to connect to my Vizio soundbar. So I'm going to click on Bluetooth first, and we're going to see if we can find the Vizio soundbar. I mean, look, Fire TV, Bluetooth keyboard, Android TV. There's so many Sony, TiVo. I'm not seeing Vizio. Let's go ahead and type in Vizio here and see if it's here. So no, I don't see Vizio. So now we go back to the IR settings, and now we're going to search the database, and then we're going to go ahead and type in Vizio. There's Vizio right there. Now's where the part is, you need to know your model number. Find your model number, that way you connect the remote to your device. Okay, so I know what model number mine is, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for mine. Mine starts with an S, 385. Oh, I guess I got to put 385, huh? 385 1X C4. So it automatically detected what it was. So now it says that it is successful. Now we're going to hit next and then hit complete. So now what's happening is all the codes from online is downloading to your remote itself. Here we go right here. So it's taking it from your phone and putting it on your remote right here. So it's really, really not that hard. Okay, so now it says complete. So now it's complete. So if we go back to the controller, now it says Vizio on the controller, and I should be able to control, which it's controlling it right now. It's also controlling this one light. Somehow the same transmit is on my soundbar for my studio light, which is really weird. So I have a Goovy studio light, and it controls the same thing. It's crazy how it works. So whenever I turn on or try to do sometimes the light, it turns on and off. Okay, so far from the XS1, it's pretty simple. It's a lot simpler than the XS1 for sure. You don't have the activities and the other stuff on there. I'm going to go into the living room here in a minute and connect it to my Hisense TV, my Denon receiver, my surround sound receiver, my Fire Stick, and see how hard it is. If it's easy, the same way that it was just right here, the soundbar, I'm going to assume that it is. And we're going to go through the steps and do that as well. All right, so the first thing you do on your remote, you need to hit the bottom two buttons, which is a minus looking button and the E button. Just hold them down. And now it pairs to your remote. This right here, I'm gonna hit connect. So I've already taken off the Vizio soundbar that I had. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be hooking up the Hisense TV, the Denon home theater receiver, and the Fire Stick. So what we do is we're going to hit add. We're going to start with the Fire Stick first because it is Bluetooth. So what you want to do is you want to grab your Fire Stick remote. You want to go ahead and go into your settings, and you want to go ahead and go to controllers and Bluetooth. So once you're here, you're going to click on other Bluetooth devices. The app will tell you as well to do it. Don't add a device just yet on your TV. So now what you're going to do is go ahead and go to Bluetooth. You're going to click on Fire TV. Okay. What do we want for? We want Amazon, the little Amazon logo. I'm going to hit complete. And now it's letting us know as Bluetooth can only pair with one device at a time, the U1 and U2 remote will disconnect with your phone if you continue to the next step. So go ahead and hit next. So now it tells you to go ahead and go to your Fire Stick, and it just tells you the same thing that I just told you to do. But it gives you a little bitty picture so you don't get lost. So on the Fire Stick, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and scan. It's unfound the Sofabaton 013E8. I'm going to go ahead and hit next and go ahead and hit done. So now we have some tips. Your remote is now connected with your Bluetooth device, thus disconnected from the app. Click OK. So now you should be able to look on your remote right here and it says Fire TV. So now we should be able to hit the back button, which make sure that I'm getting the TV there, hit the back button. And now we are 100% controlling the Fire Stick with this remote now. So now I want to get my audio ready. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go ahead and get my TV first. So we're going to go back to the app. Now, because you can only be paired to one Bluetooth at a time, that's why I went ahead and did this Bluetooth one first. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the minus and E button again. I'm going to put it in pairing mode. The phone says, okay, I'm in pairing mode, hit connect. So now it's connected. So now it's done disconnected. The remote is actually disconnected from your Fire Stick now. So now we're going to go ahead and hit another, add another device. This time I'm going to hit the IR, the infrared. I'm going to search the database and I'm going to look up for Hisense. So here's a Hisense. So it's really, really important that you know what models that you have for your devices that you're connecting. So for the Hisense, I know mine is a U8H65, so it's right here. So these are all the buttons that it should control. I see everything's in green right now, so it's going to control that. We'll go ahead and hit next. The icon I want for this one right here is the TV icon. I'm going to hit complete. Now it's downloading the library off the internet, off of Sofabaton's website that the app is connected through, and now it's downloading it to the remote. And if you go look at your remote, it does say downloading. Okay, now it's done downloading. Go ahead and hit complete. So now on the remote, if you go back to the remote, you have Fire TV and then the Hisense, your Fire Stick, which is Fire TV, then your Hisense. So you don't have to click on that. No, all you gotta do is take this little scroll wheel and you just scroll. So now I'm on the Hisense. So now when I hit the volume button, you see on the TV, now the Hisense volume is working. I can go home. Now I'm back over to the Hisense menu right now. So now what I want to do is I need to go to a different input. So again, you're going to have to learn what your inputs are. So input for me is this button right here. And now I'm going to go back over to the Fire Stick. So this is all on the TV now, all from one remote. I don't have to go grab my TV remote to go back over here. And then all I have to do is go back over to Fire TV, click on it, and now I should be able to be moving around in the Fire Stick again as soon as I move it. But the minute you go to Fire Stick, your app is going to close out because it can't connect both Bluetooths at the same time. So, but if you connect multiple Bluetooth devices on your controller, you can still do that. So I could have did all this Bluetooth, Fire Stick, TV, and everything else if they're all compatible of doing Bluetooth. It's just going to kick you out of the app on your phone per device. So don't freak out saying, oh, I can only have one Bluetooth device. That's incorrect. You can have more than one Bluetooth device. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, hit the minus and the E again. So we can go back into pairing mode on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and hit connect. So now we're connected back over here. Now I want to add in my Denon surround sound receiver. Again, infrared, search database, DEN, go to Denon. So now what I want to do is, mine is, I believe, an AVR 66H. So there we are. Again, I'm lit up green on everything that's here. Now, say you want to, you don't have to do it right now, but say I want the forward buttons and the back buttons, or I want the record button. I want one of these other buttons. You can go back in and reassign those buttons later on. So what I'm going to do now is hit next. For the icon, I want my receiver to be my icon. I'm going to hit complete. Again, where it's downloading everything off the Sofabaton's website to all the codes and everything that they have on their website. This right here makes having a universal remote, I'm talking about, really, really convenient. Don't get me wrong, I really do like the XS1 remote, and it still will be my favorite remote. But this right here, this is pretty cool. And what's really cool about this is you can program it all on this TV here, and then go into your bedroom, could put everything on there as well, go into another room, and then just take the one remote throughout your whole house and control everything. But you can use one remote for multiple rooms. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit complete. So now, if I go back over to the remote itself, now let's go down to Denon. So now on the Denon, if you see, now I have volume up there. Okay, let's go to, see if I have a menu button. Let's go home, menu. All right, there we go. So now I got my Denon options up there where I can go to my dialogue enhancer, my channel, my tone. So now I can adjust my tone control. There's my bass, there's my treble. So after I hit the back button, again, I can just use this button, hit the back button. I need to find out what button it is for my menu. For this receiver here, I do actually have a complete menu button. So on my Denon controller, which is right here, I can just, I can click on options, which is what that is brought up. So this right here is my option button. So you're just going to learn what buttons are what. So that's going to be my option button. Then I have setup button. So once I click setup button, it brings me to a whole nother screen. So now I can turn the setup button off. Okay, so now that's what I need to look for here, is what the setup button would be for this controller here. Or if it doesn't have one, I need to make a button, which is now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over to back to the phone. We're going to click on Denon. So now in here, you can change the device name. You can change the icon. You can hide from the remote screen. So if you don't want it on the screen, I don't know why you would want to do that. And then you got your remote keys. So now once you click on your remote keys, here's all the keys that actually work. So again, you got your volume, you got your up, your down, you got your OK, you got your up, down, all these depending on what you're doing. But I still want the setup button. So you can come in here and you can assign keys, learn keys, macro keys, and Bluetooth keys, right? We want to set up this key right here. So say, let me cancel that. Say I'm going to take this blue one, for instance. I'm going to take this blue one. It says reassign remote key, learn from original, create a macro key. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to learn it from the original controller. So learn from original remote. So here we are. It says press and hold the button of the original remote that you want to learn. So my original button is the setup button. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the controllers and you're going to hold the setup button. I have up on the screen what it just did. So it learned it. So what is setup? So now I have setup on this blue button right here is now my setup here. So now again, get it right here. I can hit the button, boom, and look at there, boom. Now my setup's here. So now everything is being controlled from this one remote. So again, you can set up macro keys. I don't need to do any of that. That is literally the only button that I was missing out of all the buttons that I needed for full access control of my receiver at this point in time. So now I have my Fire Stick, my Fire TV, my Hisense, which is the TV, and then my receiver, which is the Denon receiver. which is a really cool receiver. I really like this receiver. It has 4K 120 frame pass through. So my PS5, I can have an all surround sound and still have 4K 120 frames because it has that pass through it. The only drawback, it's only 5.2, but I do have these big, huge Polk audio. Everything's Polk audio. So all my surround sounds, everything is Polk audio. I would love to have either 7.2 or 9.2. Honestly, I'd like to have the 13 4x4 or whatever, but check this out. These are my big old speakers right here. Pull my crate off. So that's just the top tweeter. These are powered, 2 powered 8s are in these. Put that back on. There's my powered 8s are right there. So, and that's in both of these right here. Sorry for the kitty toys. Then I got my 12-inch sub right here, my ISO 12. And then back here, I got another Polk Audio floor speakers for my surround sounds in the back. That way when you're sitting, it's right there. You don't have to worry about things being hung up on the wall. Now saying that, if I had a 9x2 or 9x4, I actually have speaker crates in the walls to actually install, which that might be another upgrade down the road because I would love to put some JBLs or something in the top speakers. And again, like I said, the Denon, I mean, it works perfect, does what it needs to do. And then of course, the double 6.5s right here for my big, massive center. But anyways, I'm going to look around just a little bit in the app. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. I might look to see about hooking up the PS5 right here. I haven't yet figured out how or where I'm going to put the PS5 because the Denon already puts off so much heat down in the cabinet itself. I really don't want the PS5 in there, and I don't like having my PS5s vertical. I like them horizontal. I don't like to do nothing else with them. So we'll see. If it is, it'll be next part in this video. If not, I'll be right back with my final thoughts. Who's this for? How much it's worth? Is it worth your money? Especially here in 2025, things cost way too much. Tariffs back in play again. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? All right, so what did y'all think of it? I mean, 100%, it is so much easier than the XS1 controller by them. Don't get me wrong, I really do like this. I do like the feel a lot better of the U2. You have these little finger marks in the back. Look at that, where it holds. It's not as slick as the XS1, but still, all in all, the XS1 is really, really nice. But what's really cool about the U2 is I can reprogram the Vizio in here and still use it in here in my office. To there, I can go to my bedroom, I can do whatever. I didn't get a chance to do the PlayStation. I might use a dedicated video on that later on. Or maybe somebody can ask me in the comments. I do know for sure, though, that it does work with the Xbox One X. I have another colleague that he actually used it on his Xbox. So I do know that they work, both of them work with the Xbox. And that's what a lot of people are looking for, is a good universal remote for the Xbox, because we're using our consoles, because there's so much money, more than just a gaming console. We're using it for our Blu-ray players and music players and stuff, even though the PlayStation 5 don't play friggin' CDs. Come on, PlayStation, do something about that. This U2 is pretty simple. All you have to do is have your smartphone and the remote. Now, as far as I know, you cannot use this without having a smartphone. Again, though, you don't have to have a phone. You can actually download the app on the tablet as well, which actually will be my hub. I'm fixing to actually get a tablet hub for a lot of things in my home. So, and I'm going to be going between that. The auto lighting, it auto dims, auto brightens by itself. Okay, so what I did is went ahead and opened up the app. Here's the app right here. So at the top left-hand corner, you have 3 little dots. So in here, you have your FAQs, your guide, your video tutorials, contact support team, survey, disconnect remote, and settings and backup. So you can hit the backup. Now I can back up this controller straight to a little backup file, and if something ever happened to the remote, I can come back in here and re-upload every setting I have. Now how cool is that? That's really cool. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and go back to the settings. So now here's your settings. And here in settings, you have your light up remote screen when holding. because the screen will actually go black when you're not holding it, and as soon as you pick it up, the light will come on. You have your remote screen brightness. You can change how bright the screen is. Remote screen timeout. I'm actually going to bump mine up to 10 seconds, and then factory restore, and then of course your login. I'm not seeing nothing in here about software updates, but I do know that you can, because look down here at the bottom, you got a firmware version. So I'm going to pretty much assume that if there is a update, it is going to do it for you automatically. At this point in time, that is what I'm seeing. I'm going through, hitting each one of these, your guides. These are just going to take you to other places. Video tutorial. Went through a few of the settings. I'm not seeing that firmware update. Maybe there's a spot in here that I'm not seeing at this point in time. I have played around with it a little bit more off camera, and I have not found that at all. But all in all, me personally, I really believe that, like my dad's going to be 72 next month or 2 months. I believe that he would be, he's not tech savvy whatsoever, but I believe if I helped him set this up, and once it's set up, he would have no problem. All you got to do literally is scroll the scroll wheel and get up in there, scroll it to whatever you're on. You don't scroll it, hit a button, and now you're activated. As soon as it's hovered over it, and you can always tell which one's hovered over because there's 2 lines on it. As soon as you're there, you're there. Literally one click of the button, it's not even a click. One scroll of a button is all you got to do. So yeah, this right here, I do, or should I say, I can see this being for even your older generation people out there. Is this worth your money? Which, now let's get into the price. This thing's only $70 for what they just offered, and how easy and what you can do with this, and use it for multiple rooms for $70. Look, I'm not an infomercial or nothing. I'm not a salesman here, but $70, that is 100% worth it. I will have an Amazon affiliate link down below. It'll take you to my Amazon store. I do have a store on there on all the best products that I have tested, I have researched into as well in there. I'll also leave the link to my website down below. It's still a work in progress, so bear with me. It's kind of plain Jane, but it has all my YouTube channels on there. If you want to subscribe to all of them, you're more than welcome to. But I'm here to bring honest reviews, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring honest reviews, regardless if a company sends it to me or not. A company has to realize they got to take the bad with the good. So the bad with this, I'm trying to think. I really am. I'm really trying to think of the bad. The only hiccup I had at all doing any of this, it was my fault, is I already put the Fire Stick into Bluetooth search mode before I ever put the controller into it. I'm still trying to think. I really am. Your screen ain't bugging out right now. It's just me. I'm really trying to think. I'm not seeing nothing that is bad about this. Even though the the finger sections on the back, okay, they're still pretty smooth. I think if they made it a little bit more rubberized, it's going to slide around on your hands, especially if you have some softer hands. The light, honestly, the light can be a little bit brighter on here. Man, I'm trying to rack. I mean, I'm lost at what I want to say because I'm trying to find something wrong with this. And when you can't really find nothing wrong with something, there has to be something wrong. There's nothing that's 100% perfect. So if I do find something that was wrong as I play around with this and do more testing on it, off camera, I'll leave a pinned comment down below. So go ahead, like and subscribe. Go ahead and save this video. That way, if I ever throw a pinned comment, you get the updates on it. But as of right now, I'm not having no problems with anything that I'm connecting to. But again, saying that, I didn't try the Nintendo Switch. I didn't try the PlayStation. So far, I haven't had no problems connecting to anything. So the only thing I can say is 100%. If you're looking for a universal remote, go get this. This really reminds me of a faster, probably a 200 times faster version of the Logitech Harmony back in 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, when Logitech was really starting to really come out with them, and it kind of almost looks like it. I wonder if Sofabaton bought them out. Just kind of curious, or took over some of their patents on their remotes, because that's a lot what this reminds me of, is I'm trying to think of the Logitech Harmony that was there. This is 100% worth your money. This is for everybody, and I would pretty much say this is for everybody. With your elderly people, like I said earlier, you might have to help them set it up, but once it's set up and you just show them just to scroll here, they should be good to go. I 100% see this. I believe most kids that are 5-year-old kids would be able to control this. I'm not going to have no problem, or I have faith in my wife and my daughter to be able to control this as well. They shouldn't have no problems. Less remotes on the table. So yes, 100% worth your money here in 2025. Go ahead and check out this video right here. See if this is worth your money here in 2025. I'm Thomas of Tomology, bringing you the honest, unbiased reviews of a lot of these products out here for your hard-earned money.